Hello and welcome to the first audio review on Planet Zombo. My name is Dylan Kane, and this week I've been playing and finished The Last of Us for PlayStation 3. First, a little background into the game. The Last of Us follows Joel and Ellie, two kind of unlikely characters, Joel being more of a independent, strong lead, but Ellie also, strong, in a way that if anyone played the reboot of Tomb Raider, kind of like doesn't know her own strength. So she winds up being a pretty incredible character down the road, and their camaraderie makes for a very interesting. It makes for some very interesting chemistry between the two. The setting of the game is 20 years after an infection, similar to a Resident Evil apocalypse. Basically everything starts. The infrastructure of the nation starts falling, and then the world. So basically the way the game starts out is it kind of shows you how civilization starts to fall, and then fast forward 20 years, and it shows you, just how far we've come, or for lack thereof, in 20 years, which is pretty incredible to see for your own eyes. The main, goal of the game, I won't spoil for you. I don't think it's world breaking, but it involves you going to some pretty incredible places, and just a lot of really. It's hard to describe, but it feels almost like Walking Dead in some of the set pieces that you'll encounter, some of the people you'll meet, just some very strange scenarios between fighting off the infected and also some of the humans, like the bandits, and all kinds of different people you'll meet. There's a faction in The Last of Us called the Fireflies. The Fireflies are kind of like La Resistance, to put it in a the only way I would know how. I mean, basically they're challenging the government that has formed over the last 20 years that would kind of serve as the governing body, but it's kind of like a dictatorship currently, just because there's curfews and all kinds of stuff that comes in with living in this type of society, where there are, it's a very high risk way of living. So the Fireflies are, basically, like a renegade group. Their goal, very difficult to say. I guess they're looking for, a better way of life than the government is. But they're an interesting group nonetheless, and they actually play a pretty large role later on in the game. As far as the enemies you'll encounter along the ways, I've already described it. There are infected and there are bandits. Among the infected, there are 3 different types that you'll encounter. There are runners, clickers, and bloaters, I believe the last one's called. Essentially, the runners and the clickers are the 2 that you'll run into the most. Runners are more traditional zombies, kind of messed up faces, they can sprint towards you, don't have an excellent sense of hearing or sight, but, once they get their fix on you, they'll just come charging for you. So, they always, the best way to handle them winds up being with a shotgun or, getting them while they're far away. Definitely wouldn't want to use a pistol when they get up close. The other type, the clickers have been infected for so long that fungus has actually grown over their whole face, so they can no longer see, but they have an incredible sense of hearing. So the best way to tackle them, if you can, is to sneak up behind them and kill them that way. It actually makes for some pretty incredible gameplay when you're sneaking and sleuthing around this environment, trying to take out all the clickers and runners in a way that you won't necessarily disturb the clickers while you're shooting a runner, but you don't also want to have a runner see you while you're assassinating a clicker. So the dynamic that's introduced there is pretty incredible. Lastly, the bloaters are more of like your tank character. They're just bullet sponges. They, like the clickers, have a one hit kill type of attack. As soon as they get up close to you, you're dead, which can be frustrating at times. But the overall fear, or the tense situations that come from fighting these two enemies, really kind of counter how annoying it can be dealing with dying pretty frequently on a normal difficulty. Lastly, as far as the setting and the plot goes, I just wanted to mention that without spoilers, the way this game really evolves into something I didn't particularly think it would be, like a game where you would really, really care about the characters and love them, so to speak. You don't think you're going to see an emotional bond between the characters in the game and then with yourself and the characters, which to me wound up really defining the game. The Last of Us is a fantastic game. I think it's probably one of the best games, if not the best game I've played this year. The other day I was thinking about it, and I think I like it more than both Tomb Raider and BioShock Infinite, which have been, my two favorite games this year. What the game really succeeds at is creating this amazing world, something that, many games have tried for, but none have truly succeeded like this. The whole idea of surviving this, post-apocalyptic, zombie-esque infection isn't a new idea. It's been tried to be tackled before, but I think The Last of Us does it the best. The way they divvy up ammo and rations, and basically every item you get in the game feels useful, and you absolutely need everything that you get. Any of the parts that you get, just fine. Scavenging a house, can be used to make med kits, these, Molotov cocktails, grenades, just basically stuff that's going to help you stay alive longer. And I think it's a true testament to the game that, they allow you just as much as you need and nothing more. I think I could count on one hand the amount of times I had more than 50 bullets going into a combat scenario, which really, is pretty crazy. The game starts to make you think that every headshot, if it's not a headshot, it's a wasted bullet. You need headshots. It's the storyline. It sets itself up with that opening sequence I mentioned earlier to be probably one of the best stories ever. But obviously it doesn't live up to quite as great as the opening sequence, but it still follows through and is a incredible experience that I think anybody who owns a PS3 would be insane not to try. So with that being said, I will be giving The Last of Us a perfect 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved every minute of it, and just the atmosphere, the intense situations, and the beautiful, beautiful environment they craft make this game, one that will be remembered for decades. I can see us talking about this game, at the end of next generation. And that's not something you can often say. I hope you enjoyed this audio review. We're going to be trying to do more and more of these, implementing some more unique content. I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a comment in the section below just to give us a little bit of feedback and how you felt about these. Is it more interesting to you than reading a paragraph of text, or would you rather have a wall of text? We really just want some feedback. But thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the first audio review.